Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the 2015 Halloween movie, Goosebumps.
Starring Jack Black as R.L. Stine, this horror comedy is based on the book series of scary stories for kids.
Yeah.
This time, when a new neighbor accidentally releases all the monsters from the Goosebumps series, it's up to him and his friends to team up with Stine to put them back into the books.
Yes.
It's fun for the books.
Yeah. And at the time, Goosebumps had been gone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They had there was a really popular book series that might be still going on. I didn't read the book, so I'm not really sure about this. But I do remember they had a TV show years ago.
Okay, I remember because it came out, I think, in 79 or 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And the books were out then, too. So, of course, I remember watching Goosebumps.
Yeah, and then they tried it again.
The books really were huge.
Uh-huh.
And yes, you're right, they did have a resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of your friends, he really loved Goosebumps books, remember?
Right.
And he would try to loan them to you to read, and you were like, no. But, so this is like his third time around.
Yeah,
This is
another comeback. Yeah.
Exactly. So, over the decades, they found a way to make Goosebumps relevant.
Yeah, and by this one they made it more of a comedy. They do have a sequel which we've covered,
Mm-hmm.
or will be covering. You'll see right next to this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They had a sequel, but the difference between this one and the second one, the first one, was more of a comedy. I mean, of course, you had the scary monsters and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but you could tell it was really going for a comedy feel. When they did the sequel and it was taking place for Halloween, they started to go, I think, starting to feel more like the Goosebumps stories, where they had an eeriness or creepiness to it because they started to take it a little more seriously. But for here, it was more or less like a joke or just a shout out for nostalgic kids who grew up or reading Goosebumps or watching the show.
Or adults who
Right.
were kids
Exactly.
when they read it before or they watched the show.
Exactly.
I don't know if you know this. If not, then it's a fun fact for you. When Goosebumps originally came out, it was a television show that would come on every afternoon after school.
Mm-hmm. So, no, actually, no,
In the
I didn't know
80s.
that.
Yeah, it came on every day after school about 3 o'clock. It was either 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time.
Okay.
And it came on every day, 5 days a week.
Wow. And the version I saw came on once a year. It was like that all month they would air Goosebumps episodes for set period of time and then switch back to other cartoons. This is when Cartoon Network was trying to phase out cartoons on Cartoon Network.
Right.
But for a while that was on. It was sort of like a little special treat. And I tried to watch one or two. I think they were too much for me at that time.
And now you watch Supernatural.
Yeah, and I think now it's not a big deal, but then it was like, what the heck is this? Like, this is a lot to get away with for children.
But
someone think of the children.
But they found a great way to mesh all of that into this first movie, and it was great. The characters were likable, and it was really great seeing Jack Black play R.L. Stine. In the way that he did it, it was very different, and of course with the twist that was in the movie that you didn't expect.
Right.
It was really great. I thought they did a fantastic job, and it took between 84 million to produce. I guess they really don't know. That's just an estimate. But it did gross over 150 million at the box office, so they definitely made back more than what they put into it.
And R.L. Stine was, R.L. Stine wasn't here. If you look near the end of the movie, they kind of do a sort of inside joke with Jack Black playing R.L. Stine, but when they pass by a guy in the hallway, his name is Mr. Black, and that's really R.L. Stine, and then he greets Jack Black, who his name is R.L. Stine, so they kind of did a reversal inside joke for it.
Right.
But I was trying to say that Jack Black really did a good job playing R.L. Stine. It wasn't, just seeing Jack Black as somebody else, or seeing Poe or one of his other characters trying to be someone else. He actually did a very good job playing both this character and being the voice of Slappy.
Absolutely, definitely. I thought it was great. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was really happy to watch it with you, and I was glad I did. As I said, they did a fantastic job. Now, if they could just make another one that's more like the first one than the second one,
Yeah, second one.
then it'd be good.
Yeah, as you'll see, the second one is more or less a scarier, eerier version of the first one, or going for a more like the Goosebumps stories were supposed to give you chills and literal goosebumps, while this one was just more of like a comedy and just throwing back to all of the Goosebumps stories. And they have the most popular ones, like they have, what does it say? Of course, Slappy the Dummy. They have is it Revenge of the Lawn?
Snowman of Pasadena.
Yeah, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, Invasion of the Body Squeezers.
Stay Out of the Basement.
Please Don't Feed the Vampire, The Ghost Next Door, and oh my gosh, these titles.
Of course, like you said, Slappy the Dummy.
Right.
Slappy was the main character in both this one and the second movie.
Right. And it's probably the most iconic and scariest monsters up there. If you don't read Goosebumps, then you probably don't know. I only knew from the commercials when people talked about it, that Slappy was they unexpectedly the scariest one of all because of what he was capable of doing, and the parents and nobody else would believe them because he would get away with it. So sort of like a kiddie version of Chucky doll.
Yeah.
Only he doesn't kill, it just hurts people badly, and that was like the most it could go to.
And he wants to turn everything into Halloween every day.
Right, and monsters, and yeah. So, yeah, really, really good movie. Wasn't expecting it to be funny the first time I watched it, sit down and watch or read Goosebumps, but I was really surprised, and it was a really, really fun, silly, spooky Halloween movie.
And I think it's great to know that Danny Elfman did the music, because back when the original Goosebumps came out, in the 80s, I would say 80s to early 2000s, Danny Elfman was huge. That's what he's done, the greatest body of his musical work. So it was great that they did a callback and had him do the music for this movie.
Right. And it worked because the music was also very, very fitting. It was adventurous and it was spooky and it was like type music. So I did like the soundtrack for it, and the effects for all the monsters was really great too. Whether it was CGI or someone in a costume, you really can't tell the difference. But it was really, really great. And last thing I want to mention, I love when they keep referencing they have this monster clown running around, and he said, "Wait a minute, isn't that the other guy's story?" He said, "No, I came up with it first. He stole my idea." And then when he saw it again, I knew I came up with it first.
Yes. And you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was it.
Yeah.
It was a clown, and they said, "Wait a minute, I thought that was the other guy." No, he took that from me and took credit.
Oh man. So if you've seen this movie, we're sure you have, let us know in the comments below if you love this better than the second one, or you like them equally. And if you are a Goosebumps aficionado, what's your favorite story? How well do you think they took in translating the stories to this movie? And if you just happen to be one of those people that watched the original show that came on every day after school, 5 days a week, let us know your comments as well.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. With her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket. Give it to you later on in the form of a locket.